Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. There was a net issue, that's why I could not download the PDFs and the images, the front page, the editorial page. But luckily, I could download the editorial and I had to spend a lot of time because of the net issue. Let us start the session with a nice quote. What is today's quote? Success is a sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. What is success? How do you define success? Success is a sum of small efforts, but these small efforts repeated day in and day out. Consistency is very important. Now let us go to the editorial. Not too many words again today's editorial. In fact, two editorials. One related to the field of sports, all about Lakshya Sen. Unfortunately, he could not win the All England Championship shuttle. And the other one, this one. I brought this one because some important words are there. I hope everything is all right. The audio, the video, is it streaming? Please answer my question. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. The first word, default. As prospective bankers, thank you. As prospective bankers, you have to know this word. You will come to know sooner or later. But it has two different meanings. One meaning, a preset choice in this context. A preset choice, already decided. By default, he is going to be the CM. Already decided. But the second meaning that goes with banks, to fail to meet a financial obligation. To fail to meet a financial obligation. Speculation, we have got many a time. Speculate in a simple way. You can recollect the word. Uh, Speculate means guess, the activity of guessing. Speculation goes with the stock market, shares. You all know that. A run up, we have got once or twice, I do remember. A period immediately preceding an action or event. Preceding, not succeeding. Preceding, the period immediately preceding an action or event, just before an important event or action. Contenders, those who compete with others, a person or group competing with others to achieve something. A strong contender. It goes with elections, it goes with posts, guesswork, that's right. Dubious, you have to recollect, we have got many a time and it's an important word. Dubious distinction, a typical combination. What does it mean? Doubtful. Verdict, again, it has got two different meanings. One meaning, it's a legal term, a court's judgment, an opinion or a decision. The second meaning in this context, a decision, opinion, the verdict of the electorate. Usually it goes with elections. Based on that, you have the next word, electorate. All the people in a country or area who are entitled to vote in an election. All the people together, those who have the right to vote, we use the term electorate. Shenanigans, an important word. In bank exams, I do remember many a time they've given the word shenanigans. Secret or dishonest activities. When you look at the word, you feel it goes with persons. No, it goes with activities. Secret or dishonest activities. Ballast, usually it goes with ships, something that supports the ship to balance. But in this context, something that provides stability or weight to a particular government. Ballast, do remember it goes with ships. Chronic, it goes with diseases. A chronic disease, as I said, illness, persisting for a long time or constantly recurring. Usually, we try to convey the meaning chronic disease lasting for a long time, exist for a long time. It could be recurring as well. Tackle, I'm sure you all know it goes with everyday English. Tackle the problem, tackle the person. Make determined efforts to deal with a problem or difficult task. Usually it goes with problems. He knows how to tackle the problem. But sometimes we do use it with persons. Recurring, occurring again periodically, repeatedly. A problem occurs repeatedly, then we say a recurring problem. Ticklish. Tickles a different meaning altogether. Maneuvering also you can use. Who is this lucky? Very good. Ticklish, tickles. It goes with everyday English. When someone touches you, you can't stand or keep straight. You feel a little. You find it funny, and you don't want to have that. But in this context, the word ticklish, it's an adjective of a situation or problem, a different connotation altogether. Difficult or tricky and requiring careful handling. A ticklish problem, difficult or tricky, because of that requires careful handling. Facile we have got for the first time, especially of success in sport, could be success anywhere, easily achieved or effortless. Facile success, effortless success. Beleaguered, that's an important word. In a very difficult situation, if you take the Congress party, in this context, a difficult situation. Ethnic, we have got many a time, ethnic tribes, ethnic traditions, ethnic fashion, relating to a race or national group of people. You can also think of the word traditional. Embers, an important word, a small piece of burning or glowing coal or wood in a dying fire. Embers, an important word. Not too many words, as I said, and some words are important. Let us go to the editorial. A default choice. As I said, the word default, it has two different meanings. One, it goes with the financial world or the fiscal world, and default, banks, obviously. One meaning to fail to meet a financial obligation. Second, in this context, a preset choice. Someone has been chosen as a chief minister. It's a preset choice, a default choice. Not easy to understand based on these words, but when you read the next sentence, you understand what the editorial is about. And Biren Singh's role in winning BJP, a stable majority, helped him return as Manipur CM. So, this is the main idea of the editorial. And Biren Singh's role, he played a crucial role in making BJP win the elections and get the majority. A role in winning BJP a stable majority helped him because of that, helped him return as Manipur CM. So, what do you understand from this? And Biren Singh played a major role when it comes to last elections, and he could see to it that BJP got a stable majority, and because of that, he could return as Manipur CM for the second term. That's what the sentence means. In choosing to retain, as I said, retain means hold back. In choosing to retain Nongthombam Biren Singh as the Chief Minister of Manipur, the Bharatiya Janata Party has decided to go with con- continuity in a state where only one former minister, Wakram Ibobi Singh of the Congress, had managed to carry on after a full 5 year term. So, second person to have the power for the second term. It is a lengthy sentence, but what does it mean? The sentence talks about if you look at the state of Manipur, the present incumbent CM, Biren Singh, is the second CM to have the second term. In the past, another CM, but not BJP party, Congress party, had managed to carry on after a full 5 year term. Usually, from this, you should understand in that particular state, the CMs don't get a second chance. But for everything, there are exceptions. Based on that, the incumbent, the present CM, Biren Singh, as the Chief Minister of Manipur for the second term. And based on that, the BJP party has decided to go with continuity in a state. Continuity. Same person as the CM for the second term. In a state only in a state where only one former chief minister could do that. But that former chief minister, not BJP party, Congress party. This should not come as a surprise, even though there was speculation in the run up to the announcement that other contenders had thrown their hats into the ring. In today's editorial, there are two idioms. One is this throw your hat or someone's hat into the ring, means to challenge. You got to be very careful. Throw their hats into the ring. In this context, and the meaning of the idiom to offer or to challenge someone or something. So in this sentence, there are three words: one, speculation, the activity of guessing, and run up, an important phrasal verb. Run up has many meanings, but in this context, it means a period immediately preceding an action or event, the period before the announcement of the CM. In this context, that's what we have to understand. Before the announcement of the CM, the time before that, immediate, precede means to come before. A run up to the announcement that other contenders, those who compete with others, strong contender, had thrown their hats into the ring means they also challenged. So this sentence talks about they should not come as a surprise. It is not a surprise. The second term should not come as a surprise, even though contrasting information. There was speculation in the run up. There was speculation before the announcement. Some speculation was there, and before announcing the CM candidate. And not only that, one of the reasons for that, other contenders had thrown their hats into the ring, means they challenged. It was under Mr. Singh's leadership that, so here the editorial talks about why he has been given the second term. It provides a background information. It was under Mr. Singh's leadership that the BJP not only increased its seat share in the Manipur assembly from 21 in 2017 to 32 in 2022, substantial improvement in 5 years. It was under Mr. Singh's leadership that the BJP not only increased its seat share in the Manipur assembly from 21 to 32, but had also managed to weather several storms. As I said in this editorial, there are two important idioms. One, throw their hats into the ring. The other one, weather several storms, means to withstand. So this talks about two dimensions. One, Biren Singh, the incumbent CM, he could increase the number of seats in Manipur Assembly from 21 to 32. That is substantial improvement. One dimension. What is the other dimension? But had also managed to weather several storms, means face a lot of problems, tackle a lot of problems, and successfully while running a minority government in the last 5 years. Majority government, obviously, no issues. They can take decisions boldly without thinking of consequences. But imagine a government is in power and it is a minority government. They have to take a lot of factors into consideration. They cannot take bold decisions. There are always ifs and buts. Based on that, the second dimension, he had also managed to weather several storms while running a minority government in the last 5 years. That is something highly appreciable. Unlike 2017, when the BJP formed the government in dubious circumstances, there is one important word, dubious. But always, whenever you come across a particular word, do remember, try to recollect the combinations, the word forms, word usage. That habit helps in the long run. The moment you see the word dubious, here you have a different combination. What is it? Dubious circumstances. But the typical combination that goes with the word dubious distinction. At the outset, you should know the meaning of the word dubious. Dubious means what? Doubtful. So this time it is different. Unlike 2017, a different situation altogether. Unlike 2017, so 2017, what was the situation? When the BJP formed the government in dubious circumstances. Why does the editorial talk about, express or use the word dubious circumstances? The Congress had emerged as a single largest party with 28 seats. 2017, the Congress had the chance to form the government. The Congress had emerged as a single largest party with 28 seats. The ruling party had a clear cut majority on its own this time. In 2017, the BJP formed the government under dubious circumstances. Why dubious circumstances? That time, Congress had emerged as a single largest party with 28 seats. In spite of that, they could not form the government, and BJP could form the minority government. But unlike 2017, in 2022, the ruling party, that is the BJP, had a clear cut majority on its own this time. Reasons are quite obvious. From 21, the number has gone up to 32. Now they have the clear-cut majority. Besides, in addition, again, you have to be a smart learner. You have to recollect the two words, prepositions beside, next to, besides, in addition to. In addition to that, besides, the BJP government has received post-election support from the Janata Dal United and the Nagaland's People's Front with 6 and 5 MLAs each. On their own, they got 32. In addition to that, they got the support from two different sources. One, Janata Dal, 6 MLAs, and the other one, Nagaland's People's Front, 5 MLAs. Definitely in a very good situation. The clear verdict, as I said, verdict has got two different meanings. One, it is a legal term, everyone knows verdict means judgment. But the other meaning in this context, verdict means the verdict of the electorate. Generally, we use the term with electorate, means what the decision. The electorate has chosen a particular party, then we use the term verdict. The clear verdict from the electorate, two terms, verdict in this context, the decision, opinion, choice, and electorate, all the people in a country or area, in this context, the state of Manipur, who are entitled to vote in an election. The clear verdict from the electorate this time should help Mr. Singh run a stable government free of the shenanigans that dominated his previous tenure. Previous tenure, minority government, but he could manage successfully for 5 years. And this time, the verdict is crystal clear, and the electorate has given a clear verdict. Majority 32 wanting, and support from two different sources: Janata Dal United, Nagaland's People's Front, 6 and 5, 11, 32 plus 11. Now, very good position, stable government. He can run a stable government free of the shenanigans, an important word you can't afford to forget, dishonest activities or secret activities that dominated his previous tenure. Obviously, if the government is incumbent government is very strong, has a majority, you don't expect someone conspiring, or you can't expect shenanigans. Whereas the government is a minority government, everyone looks for an opportunity to overthrow, overpower. Mr. Singh also ran a spirited campaign to secure an electoral majority for the BJP, with some of his initiatives, such as the Go to Hills and Go to Villages, bearing fruit. So, again, the editorial talks about the reasons behind the victory of the BJP party and the crucial role played by Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh also ran a spirited campaign with a lot of passion, enthusiasm to secure an electoral majority for the BJP with some of his initiatives. He took a few initiatives. What are those initiatives? Go to hills, go to villages, bearing fruit means what? They give the positive results. The stable majority. Now the editorial talks about what are the advantages of stable majority. The stable majority should give Mr. Singh the ballast to focus more on governance and address the immediate needs of the state. When there's a minority government, the focus is more on retaining power, retaining authority. When the government is incumbent government is majority, the government has a stable majority. They don't have to worry about the shenanigans. They don't have to worry about the conspiracies, and they can focus on, because they're free of all these tensions or the uncertainties. They can focus more on governance and address the immediate needs of the state. Obviously, the sentence talks about that. The stable majority. What is the advantage of the stable majority? The stable majority should give Mr. Singh the ballast, an important word, but usually it goes with ships, something that provides stability or weight for the ships to balance. In this context, strength to focus more on governance and address the immediate needs of the state. This is really, I was taken aback. I was not aware of this. Now he talks about the needs of the state or what exactly they have to focus on. Manipur has a higher literacy rate. I don't know how many of you know this. Manipur has a higher literacy rate, 79.85%. It's almost like 80% compared to the country's average of 74.04%. Look at this. Manipur's literacy rate 79.85%, almost 80% compared to the country's average. What is country's average? 74.04%. Besides achieving a medium human development index of 0.697 as of 2019. Oh, not the current, but 2019. Still, it is a pleasant surprise to know Manipur, the literacy rate of Manipur state is higher compared to the country's average of 74.04%. Only Sikkim and Mizoram have better indices in the Northeast. All these are, if you know that, really good. All these are Northeastern states, Sikkim, Mizoram. Now it talks about other states in the Northeast. Where do they stand? Only Sikkim and Mizoram have better indices. Index, plural, it could be indexes, but usually we use indices. Matrix, matrices. You should recollect all those nouns of Latin and Greek origin. Only Sikkim and Mizoram have better indices in the Northeast. But chronic unemployment, what are the problems? The editorial talks about now the stable government should focus on governance and address the immediate needs of the state. Here, something positive, now something negative. But chronic unemployment, especially of the youth, remains a key concern that needs to be tackled by the government. That is the top priority when it comes to the present government. Chronic unemployment. The word chronic usually goes with diseases, chronic disease, ailment, illness, means what lasting for a long time, also recurring. But chronic unemployment, especially of the youth, remains a key concern, major concern that needs to be tackled by the government, tackled to deal with. One more problem, the recurring border conflicts in villages in Manipur and Nagaland. Recurring means what? Occurring again periodically or repeatedly. The recurring border conflicts in villages in Manipur and Nagaland, with strikes and blockades, need to end quickly, and a majority government will be better placed to address this ticklish problem. Again, it talks about the advantages of the majority government. One is it has to deal with the unemployment problem, chronic unemployment problem, and the second problem, the recurring border conflicts in villages between Manipur and Nagaland, with strikes and blockades, need to end quickly. They have to put a stop to this, and a majority government will be better placed to address this ticklish problem. Definitely, they have the advantage. They will be able to deal with this ticklish problem. Tickles a different meaning altogether. It goes with conversational English, everyday English. But in this context, ticklish means a difficult or tricky problem requiring careful handling. While the BJP remained silent on the unpopular Armed Forces Special Powers Act in the course of the election and still managed to win handily in the state, it cannot assume that the electorate agreed with the views of the union government and the party on the act. This talks about a particular act, and the BJP remained silent on that particular act at the time of campaigning or canvassing, at the time of elections. While the BJP remained silent on the unpopular Armed Forces Special Powers Act in the course of the election and still managed to win handily in the state, easily in the state, it cannot assume that the electorate agreed with the views of the union government and the party on the act. They cannot take it for granted. The electorate has agreed, they cannot assume, take it for granted that the electorate agreed with the views of the union government. This could come up as a problem yet again. So it could come up as a problem yet again. There's a possibility. It talks about that. As for the weekend, now the editorial talks about the opposition. As for the weekend, here, weak, weekend, to make something weak, it has been used as a verb. As for the weakened opposition in the state, the BJP's facile victory opens up fresh challenges for the Congress's beleaguered leadership. Even as smaller parties such as the National People's Party have tried to warm up to the BJP by offering outside support. Now it talks about the opposition, the Congress Party, a weakened opposition in the state. The BJP's facile victory, facile, an important word, easily achieved or effortlessly achieved. And what does it mean? It opens up fresh challenges for the Congress's beleaguered leadership. Beleaguered, an important word, in a very difficult situation. Even a smaller parties such as the National People's Party have tried to warm up to the BJP by offering outside support. I have already read they have the outside support, two different sources, two different parties, one with 6 MLAs, the other one with 5 MLAs. Manipur is a vital border state. Vital means important, crucial. Manipur is a vital border state with a history of extremism and ethnic violence whose embers still remain. There are two important words in this sentence. One, ethnic, relating to a particular race or group or country or people. Ethnic tribe, ethnic culture, ethnic traditions, ethnic passion. Ethnic violence, a different combination here, whose embers still remain. Embers, an important word. A small piece of burning or glowing coal or wood in a dying fire means the problems are still there. While a stable government, again, the same idea is being reiterated, a stable advantages of a stable government, while a stable government is best placed to work out a lasting peace and focus on livelihood issues, it will be in the opposition's best interests to keep the government on its toes by acting maturely. There's one more idiomatic expression. It ends on that particular note. Now it says, while a stable government is best placed to work out a lasting peace and focus on livelihood issues, obviously they have the advantage. It will be in the opposition's best interest. That means what? It is better if the opposition focuses on the what is essential, what is important. It best interest to keep the government on its toes. An important idiomatic expression, to keep someone on his toes or her toes. Someone is always on his toes, on her toes, means what? Alert. To keep the government alert by acting maturely, not immaturely, acting maturely. So that's all about this editorial. Let us go to, there are some important words, and polity definitely, they may not give us a passage, but broader views can be considered. They may give us a passage, center state relations, and union versus states. Those dimensions are important. A particular state, not that important, but you have to know the words, editorial vocabulary, very important. Comprehension based questions. What is this editorial about? What should help Mr. Singh run a stable government? What remains a key concern that needs to be tackled by the government immediately? Oh, who is this Nagamani? She has written. All, what is this editorial about? That's wonderful. Good. I appreciate that. What could come up as a problem yet again, one more time? Based on keywords, you should be able to navigate, locate, and write the answer. What does the BJP's facile victory open up? Facile, easy, effortless. What does it open up? Again, easy to answer. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. As I said, there was a net issue. I had to spend a lot of time downloading, and because of that, I could not bring the exercises, practice questions based on exam topics. We'll go directly to editorial vocabulary, important words. Try to get the meanings of these words from the editorial. That's really good. Keep it up. See, during the live session, you write about the editorial, listening to someone. That is really good, highly appreciable. It shows that you're alert, you're attentive, and you could grasp the information. And based on that, you could write something that definitely helps in the long run. Speculate, verb, speculation, noun. Means what? Guessing, activity of guessing. Contender, obviously, noun. A person competing with someone or others. D. Dubious distinction. Do remember the combination. But in this editorial, they have used dubious circumstances. No problem. Typical combination, and sometimes you do come across the variations. Doubtful. Where is this doubtful? Dubious. Verdict, noun, two different meanings. One goes with it's a legal term, judgment, and have written the same. The other one, in this context, it means a decision, choice. The verdict of the electorate means the choice of the electorate. H. Shenanigans, an important word, noun. Dishonest activities. Ballast, also a noun. Support, something that provides, let us see, something that provides a support or the strength. I is the answer. Chronic, lasting for a long time. Chronic disease, chronic illness. Adjective. Beleaguered, in a difficult situation, the Congress party right now. Adjective. In a difficult situation. Ticklish goes with a problem, difficult or tricky, and because of that, it has to be handled very carefully. Adjective. Ticklish. Facile, easily achieved. Facile victory. Obviously, it has to be E. I'm sorry, what is it? F. Easily achieved. That's all for today. Unfortunately, net issue I could not download and had to spend so many hours waiting. And fortunately, I could get the editorial. Have a nice day. Do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. I'll provide the editorial, but only one exercise today related to editorial vocabulary. But do remember the words, important words. Thank you very much. If someone has got all the 10, Yakub says, that's really good. I see some students, they say, sir, I got all the 10 correct, the meanings as well as the parts of speech. That's really good, highly appreciable. Nagamani says that, and some more students. Tell about RBA assistant. What do you want me to tell? You mean some tips? Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow I will squeeze in some time. I'll give the tips for sure. Or before the exam, that would be ideal. Then you will be able to remember.